Great Monday morning, you all. How are you all doing? Happy Monday. This is your girl, Shan. I know some of you who are looking at your devices right now, whether you be at work, on your way to work, or whatever the case may be, are like, wait a minute, is this real? Is she back on? I didn't even announce that I was going to start back resuming Marriage Mornings with the Queen because I didn't even know if I was going to be honestly coming on this morning. So I'm a type of person who like to keep my word when I do things. However, trying to ease back into the routine of things that we do, I want to give you all two good old church announcements on this morning. Number one, or the first one, is join us tonight for Marriage Mondays with the Kings. We will not be live tonight. We will be on radio. Like I said, we're just easing our way back in. But what we're going to be discussing is grinding, which for those of you who listen from other countries and you don't really know what the term grinding means, that means working together. So grinding as a married couple. That's what we're going to be talking about on tonight, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on KRG and 98.5 FM The Rock. Now, if you are not in the Central Texas listening area, no worries. Just go to our website, marriagemondayswiththekings.com. Click on the Listen Here tab and you will be able to listen in. Now, that's another thing. So that's number two, church announcement number two. If you desire to get in contact with the Kings, and you're going to continuously hear me say this from time to time, we need you to go to our website. Please don't inbox us on any of the social media platforms. It's a lot of them. It's a lot for the team to manage. So in order to simplify that, we just ask that everybody go to the website, marriagemondayswiththekings.com, and click on the Listen Here tab. Now, I'm going to be real with y'all on this morning. I don't know what this morning is going to be like. I don't know if it's going to be sad. I don't know if I'm going to be crying, but just know I'm not doing it intentionally. And for those of you who really know me, know that I purpose to be strong in everything that I do. But however, in my grief process, in this last 6-7 weeks, I have learned a lot. And so I want God to allow me to share that with you all. So what I'm going to be speaking on this morning is true grief is something else. Now, it will relate to relationships and different things like that, I'm sure, I hope, or whatever. But just in case, grab your tissues, honey. Grab your tissues. Look, you can tell I'm country. Good morning, sunshine. Grab your tissues, baby, because I don't know which way this is about to go. And I am still sensitive, I will say that, emotionally. So with that being said, I'm not trying to make it be sad, but I want to be real with you. So to let you all know, I did kind of post on our page or whatever, the reason why this hit so hard is because the grandmother that I always speak about, that share the golden nuggets and everything with us, she is the grandmother who has transitioned on or passed away. So that's why it's been really hard, because you know how when you have someone around you who is a jewel, someone who has a good heart, someone who, this lady would always pray for people. You hear me? I always share with her how, Grandma, I just talked about this. Good morning, boo. I missed you. Grandma, I just talked about this on Marriage Mornings with the Queen, or me and Kenya was talking about this on the radio show, and me and her would speak about it. Good morning, honey. And she would drop jewels. You hear me? I hate to say this, but this day and age, we don't have a lot of people who's really dropping those jewels. I'm not talking about they sitting up here telling you stuff to try to make you feel good or make you like them or whatever the case may be. I'm talking about somebody who dropped those jewels. So one of the things in the military, let me kind of talk to my military folks, because I'm going to share with you. Good morning, honey. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Good morning, love. Good morning. But let me share you something that we do, or military people, veterans, that we've done, right? Because the military, especially if you came up in my era of military time, who taught us how to have mind over matter. And basically what that means is you take your feelings, in a sense, you bottle them up, you do what you got to do to stay in soldier mode so you can continue to accomplish the mission. Okay, that was probably good for the time that we was in the military. However, one of the things that I'm guilty of doing when it comes to grief is staying in soldier mode. That's what we call it. And it's not healthy, in my opinion. You stay in soldier mode. When you do that, you don't allow yourself to feel. So in this process, God was really ministering to me, because I'm going to be real with y'all. I had nothing else to give. You to me, this lady my heart. You know what I'm saying? Born 3 days apart, the same sign if you believe in astrology and all that kind of stuff like that. I talk to this lady every other week until she said, Shan, baby, I need you to call me more often. Then I talk to her every week. And then we talk like that. Shan, baby, I need you to call me more often. I called her every day up until right before she passed away. So a true jewel, right? But getting back to things that are not healthy and what God has shown me in this process. A lot of us cannot attain the godly relationships, the godly friendships, the godly marriages, and things like that because we don't allow ourselves to feel. Now, mind you, I'm being honest. I'm keeping it a buck with y'all. Good morning, my beautiful cousin. Thank you for everything. I'm keeping it 100 with y'all. When God gave me that revelation, I said, oh my God. And I'm not just talking about just military, veterans, or whatever. We don't allow ourselves to feel. I had nothing else to give y'all. I remember I was talking to my husband, preparing for my grandmother, our grandmother's transition. And I was like, baby, I don't think I could do it. I was numb in the mind. I said, I don't have nothing else to give. And I'm always a person to try to give and pour from an empty cup, which is not healthy to do, right? And so my husband said, no, just you do what you feel you need to do, because this was a vulnerable state. Me and my husband both were in a vulnerable state, and we don't allow ourselves to be truly vulnerable with the people that we are in relationship with. I don't care if you're single. I don't care if you're married. I don't care if you're divorced. How are people supposed to really help you, and God send people around you to help you, if you do not allow yourself to be in a vulnerable state? Now, this is the question that I was asking people during this time. I said, where did this mess come from? Because y'all know I'm always asking a question. And I want y'all to think about this and drop some dimes. Even if you got to come back later, I want to know what you think. Where does this come from, where we have been indoctrinated, if you will, that we have to push ourselves beyond our breaking point to consider ourselves to be strong? Why have we never taught or been taught to be vulnerable? Why have we never been taught that it's okay if you don't feel good? You see what I'm saying? You better come on down, Miss Generational, okay? Come on. Because I'm telling you, especially in certain ethnicities, I've asked people of African American descent that don't even know each other, and they gave me the same response. Let me share something that I learned. How are people supposed to help you if you don't keep it honest and keep it real? But then we get mad because people don't reach out when we need them the most. Okay? So let me tell you what I was doing, because some of y'all are probably guilty of this as well. Even with your spouse, your children, or whatever the case may be. People were asking me, Shan, how are you doing? My first response, what is the first thing that come to your mind? I'm good. I'm fine. No, you're not. I had to stop myself mid-sentence, and I had to correct myself and say, you know what? I'm not okay, but I'll be okay. You see what I'm saying? I'm not okay right now. Why do we not share that with people? A lot of it is because we don't trust. Okay? We don't truly trust, but I had to allow myself to be vulnerable. You see what I'm saying? I allowed myself to cry. Let me tell you why this time I allowed myself to do it. Because when my late grandfather passed away in 2006, that thing, come on now. Y'all know some of y'all's mama's boys and daddy's girls and stuff like that. Every time your parent moved, you was right there beside him. That's how it was with my papa. If he was on the roof, shingling a house, I was right up there beside him. If he was fixing a tire, I'm 5 years old trying to learn how to jack up a tire. But guess what? I had that military mindset, and I was operating as a soldier. And because I did that, I grieved hard for 6 years. You hear me? Because in my mind, I try to pretend like this isn't real. Papa didn't pass away. I didn't want myself this time to be in the process of where I was grieving extremely hard. Now, people don't grieve when people pass, and there's different levels of grief. Everybody don't grieve the same, right? And it makes me think about my home girl. Y'all need to check her out. Check out her page, Grief to Grind, Mrs. Moore. I didn't have permission to put a whole government name out there, but Grief to Grind. Go to Facebook page. She started that in dealing with sibling grief. But what God showed me is how are people supposed to help you if we don't allow ourselves to be vulnerable? True enough, we can't be vulnerable with everybody. I just heard somebody say that. I felt it in my spirit. You can't be vulnerable with everybody. But this is the thing that God has showed me as well. Thinking about my homegirl, Mrs. Coleman, I shared with you before, pray to God and ask God to surround you with godly people. Surround you with individuals that's truly going to be there for you, and don't shut out the help that you receive. All the cards, the flowers, the love, the support, the prayers. Like, we truly thank God. People checking in. There are people I still got to respond back to via text because I had to be real with myself. I said, I just can't do it right now. And so some of you all may be asking with Shan, some of y'all have been divorced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. No judgment. But did you take the time to really grieve your divorce? Or did you jump into another relationship with somebody else? And some of you all may say, well, Shan, you know what? Or even your relationship, if you've been in a 5-6 year relationship with somebody, if it's a friendship that you've been and you and the friend fell out for some ungodly reason. Good morning, honey. Did you take the time to properly grieve that situation? And I can almost answer you that the answer is no, because we don't know how. You know what I'm saying? But how do you get through a grief situation? Only thing that I can say is God. All right? God. God brought me through it, the support of true friends, family, my husband, whatever the case may be, my children, my adult children, checking in, say, Mama, how are you doing? Me being honest, you know what I'm saying, with my children, to say, Mama's not good right now. Because one of the things with women, and it has to stop, okay? Good morning, my beautiful sister. One of the things with women is there is always an expectation that no matter what, how we feel, if we sick that day, if we just can't do it, we got to continue to be strong and continue to go on. That's unhealthy. Because think about it. I think of 2 individuals in the Bible, right? That when they went through the grief process, they allowed themselves to grieve in that season. I think about good old King David, you know, when Bathsheba, you know what I'm saying, his side chick or whatever, not trying to be mean, but I'm telling you, boy, the Bible's something. His side chick got pregnant, you know, lost the son, whatever the case may be. He took the time to grieve, okay? I think about Job. Job went through some things. You heard me, that joker lost everything. God replenished, but he took time to grieve. It is okay to say, I'm not okay. That when we continue to push ourselves beyond our breaking point, let me tell you what happened. It affects our mental, it affects our physical, it affects our emotional. So it is okay to say, I'm not okay. I am not fine. For my husband to be able to be like, baby, whatever it takes. You know, for me to talk to my oldest son and he say, Mama, because they ain't never seen Mama in this situation, because Mama would always soldier through. But it's okay, because guess what? How do we show our children? Okay, come on, plug Mrs. Moore. You better come on, my homegirl, my sister. I about said your name. But how do we show our children how to get through the grieving process if they never see us grieve? And I'm not saying we got to be crying and trying to get all the attention. But what I'm saying is there is a season. There is some time that you have to just get away. And let me tell you how good God is, okay? A year ago last month, we were sitting here in our home and we were speaking to our military family, our family. This is someone my husband used to run track against in high school. They went through the military for 20 plus years. They're both retired. And we were sitting here and his wife happened to be from Dominican Republic. So shout out to Jay and shout out to Jahida. Okay, I'm just going to say it like that. Our people, right? And they said, are y'all really gonna come to Dominican Republic? Because we was talking about meeting up in Dominican Republic last year. This how good God is. And so we was like, yeah, we coming, because we're people of our word. If we say we're gonna do it, we gonna be there, right? Our word means everything. And so our brother said, well, how long are y'all gonna come for? I was like, shoot, a week? We're coming for a whole week to Dominican Republic? Because she said, I really want to show y'all around my country. And so I was like, you know what? Let me push the envelope a little bit. I said 2 weeks. We coming for 2 weeks. We have never been on vacation for 2 weeks, right? They was like, y'all really coming to Dominican Republic for 2 weeks? Yes. And so she was sending all this stuff to plan what we gonna do and all this different things like that. And so I told my husband, I said, baby, put your leave in, you know what I'm saying, for work, because, baby, we're going to DR and we're going to get the true Dominican Republic experience. We planned that a year ago. Only God knew that myself and my husband was going to be a dang near 0%, and we needed to be recharged and reset. Okay, those were the words that our brother used as we sit in the Dominican Republic and we was talking, and they was checking in on us to make sure we are okay. We need to take time from time to time to reset. Okay, when you look at Jesus, I didn't understand why God really had me studying Jesus' story, really that section of the Bible. And when I say properly exegeting the text and breaking that thing up, it hit me yesterday. And I've been studying for a while. And I said, God, I got it. Because even Jesus had to get away from time to time. We got away from everything for 2 weeks. This was the trip of a lifetime. And I'm here to tell y'all, for those who travel, it's cute when they send us to Punta Cana. You see what I'm saying? When we go to Punta Cana, we pay that money. Or we go to Puerto Plata is what it's called. That's cute. But baby, when you get up in there and you see the true Dominican Republic, you see how people live. You know, they just happy seriously to have a roof over their head. They just seriously happy to have food in their stomachs. It shows you to have clothes on their back, and it may not be the best clothes, and they really admire us as people in the United States, as Americans. You see what I'm saying? God showed me so much when I was at the point where I just couldn't go no more. But God, you see what I'm saying? And this is something else I will share with you all before I get ready to go on this morning. It's okay to be in a place where you are not okay. All right? I said that earlier. Let me tell you some of the things that comes up. One of the things that hit hard when it comes to grief is depression. I believe I was in that state for a moment. But when you are not feeling good and you're in your most vulnerable state, I would encourage you to connect with someone, one person who will help pull you out of that state, who will help walk you through that process. Because it's not healthy to continue to push yourself like you okay when you know that you are not. Be in tune with your body. Be in tune with yourself. And like God showed me, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to marriage, if you don't allow yourself to feel, how can you effectively communicate the needs that you need? Don't just assume that the individual that you've been married to for 20 and 30 plus years, they should know how you are. That is trifling, and that is a poison way of thinking. Nobody, as my grandma used to always say, nobody knows everything about you. And when you are married and you learn this as you continue to go on in marriage, you're going to learn something new every day. That's what grandma taught about the person that you're in a relationship with. So if you're single, it's okay. If you're going through some things, baby, have that one friend that's going to check in on you and say, oh, okay, you could be down today, but come on, let's get out the house. Why you up in here with these curtains all drawn and closed? That's a sign of depression. You know what I'm saying? Why you ain't eating, or you overeating and you in such a dark place? That's a sign of depression. We can't just ask people for prayer, and then when God sends our friendly surgeons to come in and be there and be our support and pull us through, we are rejecting the help. God didn't allow me to reject the help. You see what I'm saying? When people were reaching out and taking that time. So I encourage you, even if it's not grief, you find yourself in a vulnerable state. You find yourself being honest with yourself, because we lie to ourselves and we lie to others saying we okay. Yes, Jesus will fix it, and all the things that they taught us in church. God will see us through. I believe that with every fiber of my being. However, just like they used to tell us in church, God has a ram in the bush. God has someone that he's assigned to you to work to help you through this process. To know that I was at my most vulnerable state, and I'm the one who always give to everybody else. I'll give my time if you need somebody to talk to. I'm not trying to brag on myself. I'm just being real and telling you how I am. But when I didn't have it to give, the individuals who stepped up, that next day after putting that post on social media, having that post put up about thank you all, but we need this time to grieve, a beautiful woman that I hadn't seen in years happened to be walking into Walmart, and she walked right past me. She said, Miss Shan, thank you so much, Mrs. Lewis. You know who you are. And for your girls who are thinking, are you talking about my mama? I'm talking about your mama. Your mama's amazing, okay? She said, Miss Shan, is that you? I said, yes, ma'am. She had a mask on. And so I told her, I said, I'm so sorry. I didn't have no words to say because I was hurt. And I was broken, and I was there with my daughter, and I said, I'm so sorry. I don't even know what to say right now because I usually give people an encouraging word and speak life into them. I said, the only thing that I could do is we have what we put on social media. That's the only thing that and she, you know what she said that was amazing to my spirit. Come on, y'all. Y'all got to allow God to speak through y'all, to speak life into somebody else because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know how bad they're hurting, even if they're lying to your face. She said, you know what you all had put on social media, that's all you needed to say, which was we would generally tell other individuals that this is they need to do, they needed time away, and so we're going to take our own advice. She said that speak volumes. So I encourage you all to allow yourself to be vulnerable, be true to your feelings. I'm telling you, in your most vulnerable state in your marriage, and I can speak from experience, me and my husband had to get through this thing together. Not only was that my grandmother biologically, but that was his grandmother as well, because from the first time she met him, she took him in. I want y'all to think about this for those of y'all who are married. This is your spouse's family just as much as it's yours, even though it's not biological. You see what I'm saying? And so it hit him hard too. Last thing I'm going to say, this is my third closing. This is something I learned too from my good girlfriend who's a pastor's wife in around the Nashville area in Tennessee when she was having a conversation with her son. A lot of us, especially military children, our children probably don't know what funerals and grief and all this stuff is like. Don't just traumatize these babies. And this is just for everybody. If you got little kids, don't just have the little kids sitting there looking at the coffin and they don't know what's going on. Everybody crying, snotting, and falling out around them. Explain the process to them. This is how it's going to go. Our daughter was sitting there with me at the service, 14 years old. And I said, oh my God, my baby, because she's a military child, was born in Germany. She'd never been to a funeral before. This is the first time because our family don't, thank God, our family members don't pass away like that. We don't have a lot. And so I explained to her every step, baby, this is what's going to happen. We're going to get up and we're going to view the body. Now, the body is just there. You know, the spirit is no longer there, but the body's there. Will you be able to handle that? She said, yes, ma'am. Walk these babies through that. Because something that my good girlfriend shared with me, and I said, golly, I didn't even think about her. God dog it, as we say in the country. It's her son shared with her, and he's a grown man, how he was traumatized. Because he's sitting here, he's at a funeral, and nobody's ever explained to him what a funeral is like. These kids aren't like how we was. We was made to just go. Don't do that to these kids. If something come up, explain, have a conversation with them and everything. I thank God and move with God, okay? God laid it in my heart to say, this is time for you and your family to go home and say goodbye. We got on the road to Oklahoma just like that, and we did a day trip. You hear me? Left at 04 in the morning, spent the day with Grandma. And let me tell you what Grandma said. She was so surprised because we surprised her. She said, Shan, because she speak real soft like this is how she used to talk. Baby, this feel like a family reunion. All my family is here. And it was nothing that was planned. Family and friends were coming. Church family, church friends, people we grew up with, you know, coming to say goodbye to Sister Muse. Okay? This is the last thing I'm going to say that Grandma told me to share with y'all. And I hope I don't start crying. But she said, Shan, our last phone call before she passed, I said, yes, ma'am. She said, what I want you to tell the people, and you can ask my auntie, if y'all know my aunt, because she was standing there holding the phone for Grandma. She said, baby, I said, yes, ma'am. She said, I want you to tell the people that I'm a child of the Most High God. So as I'm sitting there listening to Grandma, I say, who is the people? It didn't hit till after she passed. The people are you all. Because she knew that I would talk to you all. So that's how I'm confident. She is a child of the Most High God. I believe with every fiber of my being that Grandma was sitting with God. Okay? So I just wanted to share this with you all this morning. I made it through without crying. But thank y'all for everything, for your love, for your support. I hope that what was said on this morning, it may not be for you, but share it for somebody else. Share it with somebody else. If you're having a conversation, I encourage you all, let's stop being mean in the United States. Let's stop being mean, and let's allow God to truly use us to sow into other people. You don't have to have a title in the church to sow God's love and speak life. You don't know what somebody's going through. They may be on their last leg and about to take themselves out because they can't take it no more. Okay? Please be a blessing and not a curse. I say that all the time when I close. So, please join us tonight, Marriage Mondays with the Kings, where the Kings are going to be speaking about grinding, which means working together as a married couple. It's for singles. It's for married. Thank you so much, sis. I almost said your name. This was so hard. It's for singles. It's for married. We're going to be on KRGN at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. KRGN 98.5 FM The Rock if you're in the listening area. If you are not, please go to our website, marriagemondayswiththekings.com. Click on the Contact Us tab, or the Listen Here tab, and we have a myriad of platforms that you can listen in. Your girl Shan plans to be back with you all next Monday with whatever it is that God places on my heart. So God bless y'all. Be a blessing this week and not a curse. Please don't have an attitude. Don't be negative. Be grateful and sow into somebody else. Speak life into somebody else this week. That's your godly assignment. And your girl Shan to be back with you all next week or whatever it is God placed on my heart. If God say the same. God bless you and blessings to you.